Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine Quijano. It's good to be with you. Thanks for joining us. The National Hurricane Center is warning of historic floods along the U.S. Gulf Coast. Parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle are bracing for Hurricane Sally. The storm is expected to make landfall Wednesday morning. It could bring winds of more than 80 miles per hour in some areas and up to a 6-foot storm surge. The hurricane's outer bands are already lashing the coast. Parts of Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi are seeing storm surge and strong winds. David Begnaud reports from Pensacola Beach, Florida.
Tonight, Hurricane Sally is churning toward the Gulf Coast, already pounding everything in its path. This massive Category 1 storm is moving slowly, giving it additional time to gather strength and become even more dangerous.
Well, I'm kind of scared just a little bit because I'm on the beach.
For a lot of people, this was a day of nervous anticipation.
I'm just not trying to go back over the bridge because the wind had my car shaking.
Winds are already 80 miles per hour, but heavy rain and severe flooding are the biggest threats, all the way from the eastern tip of Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle. The hurricane is expected to finally make landfall tomorrow morning around Dauphin Island, Alabama, where protective dunes have already begun to give way. Just north of Dauphin Island, Mobile is a ghost town. Streets are empty and buildings are boarded up everywhere. Tonight, there's already widespread damage in multiple states. These two riverboat casinos in Alabama floated away. And one of the two main highways in Pensacola Beach closed after a barge that was carrying heavy equipment broke loose and crashed into the bridge. Some people fled the coastline earlier today, but for others, it's too late. They're stuck.
We can't do anything about it. We can't get out. So.
This is one of the slowest moving storms on record to affect this part of the Gulf Coast. And that is why the rain is expected to continue for 24 hours and then some. Sally will best be remembered for the rain that just wouldn't quit. Elaine?
All right, David Begnaud, thank you. And joining us now from Biloxi, Mississippi is Skyler Henry. Hi there, Skyler. So states along the coast are already seeing some of Sally's effects. What is it like on the ground there in Biloxi?
Well, hey, Elaine, good evening to you. Well, certainly some of the same here. We're starting to see the wind pick up here, as well as some of the heavy rain in this area here as Sally prepares to hit parts of Biloxi as well. City officials are concerned about the risk of historic flooding in this area. And if you head about 10 minutes south, we were in Biloxi Bay, where there already starts to see some spillage over to the sidewalks and into the streets, cutting off a few homes as well. And so you're starting to see a lot of businesses in this area go ahead and pack up shop. People have been heading to higher ground. You see the casinos behind me saying that they're going to be closed until the weather conditions improve. And much like you saw in David's piece, as far as Mobile being a ghost town, the same could be said here in Biloxi.
So have you been able to talk to any folks there? I mean, if so, what have they been saying? Are many people going to stay put and ride things out?
Yeah. Well, you know, when these things happen, you can imagine you have those who want to ride the hurricane out, as you mentioned. You have some of those storm chasers, if you will. Some folks that we spoke to earlier said that they have been following hurricanes all year. This just happens to be another one. But you have that other group of people who are concerned about what this storm may bring, particularly as it pertains to the fact that Sally is moving so slow, and which could bring historic rain totals, particularly here in Biloxi, Mississippi. And so they're concerned about their property, and so we've started to see sandbags as well as businesses boarded up, things like that, as they prepare for Sally to make landfall.
All right, Skyler Henry for us. Skyler, thank you. Stay safe. CBS News weather producer David Parkinson has been tracking the storms, and he joins us now. Hi there, David. Where exactly is Hurricane Sally? Why has it been hard to pinpoint when it might actually make landfall?
Yeah, I mean, this storm has been just a bear to predict. Where Skyler was where we thought the landfall would be yesterday, and where New Orleans is where we thought it might be a couple of days ago. What has happened is it's lost all steering. So if you look at the storm here, this is a 6-hour loop, and it has not moved. I mean, it's moved a total of about 15 miles. So as a result, all of these bands are bringing flooding rain onto the coast, but there's nothing really tugging it straight to the coast. And as a result, we're not entirely sure the exact exact location, but we can tell you right now it is 50 miles to the south of Fort Morgan in Alabama, moving north at 2 with 80-mile-an-hour winds. So the good news is the winds have certainly decreased over time as it's lost that steering. The bad news is these bands are just parked over the state of Florida. There's over 7 and 8 inches of rain already, and as David said in his piece, there's more than 24 hours of rain left to go.
Well, so given all of that, David, what should areas that are potentially in the storm's path expect here over the next 24 hours?
Yeah, well, so basically what's going to happen as this storm moves to the north is it's going to finally start to pick up a little bit of steam. But look at that. 1 a.m., it's offshore, so we're thinking maybe a landfall around 8, 9 a.m. 1 p.m., it's only 20, 30 miles inland, so Mobile is still feeling the impacts. Pensacola is still feeling the impacts. And then by Thursday morning, it starts to make its way into parts of Alabama and Georgia. What's interesting is the flood threat is not just confined to the coast. So you've got up to 4 inches in a short period of time near Atlanta, 8 inches by Montgomery. That will cause flooding. And then certainly the 2 feet or more in this tiny section of southeast Alabama, places like Orange Beach, right on up to the Florida border, and then 1.5 feet in Pensacola, as far east as Destin and Fort Walton Beach, and then 1 foot as far east as Panama City. And a reminder, that's several hundred miles from the center of the storm. And then we talk about what happens after the rain falls. Then all these rivers have got to get all that rain. So what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to start with immediate flash flooding, and there's going to be intense rain that will probably bring about some rescues. Then the river level is going to rise. Anywhere with a purple here is a major flood level. That's the potential for a record. Those rivers are rising, and anywhere in this yellow here, that's where we could see river flooding. And as you see, that extends all the way into the Carolinas.
Wow, that is such a broad swath of the country there. David, Sally is not the only storm on your radar. What else are you tracking?
No, unfortunately, this is the Atlantic season that doesn't quit. I am confident we are going to run out of letters by the weekend. So here's the deal. We've got Teddy, we've got Vicky, we've got Paulette. Renee went away. This could be Wilfred here. We've also got a chance of something developing in the Gulf that could be Wilfred. Either way, we're probably going to run into the Greek alphabet, which would start with alpha and then go all the way through. We're well ahead of 2005, which is the only time we've ever gotten to the Greek alphabet. And then here's Teddy headed towards Bermuda. The interesting thing about that is Teddy and what's left of Sally may actually merge in the Atlantic and head up towards maritime Canada. So not a big threat for the mainland U.S., but needless to say, this 2020 hurricane season is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh my gosh, David Parkinson, so much to keep an eye on. David, thank you very much.